Okay, Shalom Aleichem, everybody. I can't be with you in Los Angeles, but we're recording here at the Holy Yeshiva in Israel. And I'm going to say a short idea on the Parsha, on the Haggadah, and a Halacha. And I'm standing here in the Palace of Torah by the seat of the Rosh Yeshiva Zatzal. And I would share an idea that I saw in his Haggadah, in a Haggadah from Rabbi Bergman that he brings down from the Rosh Yeshiva Harav Ruderman, the founder of this holy place that I am at now in Baltimore, Maryland. So we know we have 4 sons. That was a popular shir. The second son, the Rasha, not the country of Russia, but the evil son, on the Haggadah, he says, what is this? What is this all about? Why you guys involve yourself in such a difficult task? So they bring down a story with the Rosh Yeshiva Zatzal, which right behind me is his holy seat, which is vacated since he passed away. And so I'm telling you idea, and I'm sitting right next to his holy seat. The Rosh Yeshiva said a Buddha was once by a doctor, and the doctor knew some things about Judaism. I guess he wasn't committed, but he asked the Rosh Yeshiva that, it says in the Talmud, if you don't put on tefillin, it's like you're sinning with your body. It's a terrible thing. Poshe Israel begufan. That's why it's very important for all my teens that are watching that your number one thing that you do every morning is to put on your tefillin. So he asked the Rosh Yeshiva, tefillin is just a piece of leather. Who cares if you wear it or not? It's such a terrible thing if you don't put your tefillin. You're rebelling against God with your body. You're sinning with your body. Your body becomes unholy. Your body becomes unfit for the holy divine Shekhinah to come upon it. So Rosh Yeshiva said, Doctor, you're very familiar with the brain. The brain looks very, very like a large walnut, a dark, mushy piece of walnut. But what's the ultimate value of the brain? The ultimate value of the brain is not what it looks like outside. It's the functions, it's the neurons which are inside of it. And the Rosh Yeshiva told this doctor that tefillin may look like to you something very insignificant, just a piece of leather. But inside it has an awesome and very auspicious and special power to connect us to God. The Shema is written inside. And this is the problem with the Rasha at the Haggadah. The Rasha is missing some very, very important information. He thinks that the mitzvot are just, maybe God forbid, shallow and man-made ideas. But we believe that every commandment in the Torah is godly. So to dispel this superficial and shallow understanding of the Torah, we explain to the Rasha that everything we do on Passover, which has a lot of difficulties, we have to get rid of our chametz. Nobody said Judaism is very difficult, but nobody said Judaism is easy, but the same God that commanded us to do what? The same God that created such an awesome and beautiful world with the brain and the heart, this same God commanded us to do the mitzvot. And we only need to embellish a little bit this idea of the Rosh Yeshiva Zatzal. When we look at the Zohar and the Nefesh HaChaim and the holy books of Kabbalah, we see that really there is a nuclear, supernatural, spiritual power in every mitzvah we do. So that's what we have to explain to the people that don't know a lot about the Torah. The Torah and its commandments, the ultimate value is not what we see. Just like you can't see your soul, but that's what keeps us alive. The same thing when we learn Torah, like this is a fortress of Torah I'm standing in right now. On God's map, it's not Brentwood or Beverly Hills that's important. It's such places, like the Chafetz Chaim says, on the godly map, this is one of the capitals of the world, because so much Torah has been learned here, and we have a tremendous amount of gratitude, the Persian community. And that's something that we need to share with everybody the night of the Haggadah. It's a prevalent misunderstanding. People don't realize that there is a supernatural, unimmeasurable amount of spirituality and infinite amount of holiness in all the Torah we learn and all the mitzvot we do. And that's what we need to explain to the Rasha. So I'm going to tell you a halacha from the Ben Ish Chai, halacha 37, to a little bit demonstrate how holy what we do. So the Ben Ish Chai says here, Chayav Adam lesaper benisim beniflaot she'asa Hashem itbarach lanu v'avotenu. You know, according to the Ben Ish Chai, we have to be so obsessed with this story of the Haggadah that Ad shetachrenu lishon, you should say the story of the Haggadah until we fall asleep. So literally, till you can't keep your eyes open anymore, we should be explaining the Haggadah. And the Zohar brings, it says, this Pikuda l'saper b'tziyat Mitzrayim v'kutsha b'richu chada v'sipur. God is going to visit with all His angels your Seder. When you say this, if you appropriately explain the Haggadah with excitement, and God brings all of His angels to our Seder table, and He says, look, go listen to how my children, my beloved children, how much they love. And every year they continue to express their gratitude about this amazing and marvelous, mesmerizing miracles that I did for them. All the heavens open up, and literally the Shekhinah comes and visits your Seder table with all His angels. And that's what it means, Kol Hamarbeh L'Saper B'Tziat Mitzrayim Hazeh Meshubach. So God and all His celestial angels will visit you at your Seder. And this is a little bit about the idea that we explained, that really never underestimate how important and vital the mitzvot and the Torah that we do. I want to wish all of you a happy and healthy Passover.